So I got this bumper off of RX-8. It's fiberglass. Piece of crap, but I hate fiberglass bumpers. But you know, sometimes it's what you gotta deal with. But so here it's got this nice little crack on the bottom. I went ahead and took a piece of old 36 grit sandpaper and kind of blasted off the kind of little flakes and stuff on the front. And then right here on the back, I pretty much just did the same thing, and it has this coating on it, you know, like a sealer coat, so you got to kind of scuff that off with a 36 grit, and then I kind of get it so it lines up real nice too. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on the front, like aluminum tape, kind of hold its shape a little bit, and then I'm going to get some fiberglass resin. Probably going to sand down in those little cracks a little bit so it has something, you know, something real good to bite into. But yeah. So I'm taking this, this is pretty much what you're going to do, you know, if like I said, I already kind of started on this, but that black coating, you want to get below that, because basically all this stuff, it's not a chemical bond, it's a mechanical bond. I know I say that in a lot of my other videos and stuff, but it has to have something to actually grab into. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get a little bit deeper into some of these spots, try to get a little bit more of that coating off. And then try not to breathe that shit. But I have this thing with some alcohol on it, kind of wipe all the dust and grime away. All right, and before you do, I guess before you mix up the resin, I got this fiberglass mat, just the stuff from Walmart, you know, or O'Reilly's or any of the auto parts stores. Got a few little chunks and stuff here from previous doings of my hood flying up. But I usually like to do like little ones like this and kind of, you know, crisscross applesauce it a couple times, and then you know, a couple like a little bit bigger of a chunk to kind of do the whole thing. But so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this stuff, just regular old scissors. You could get the other mat, it's a little bit different. I just kind of try to guess what kind of a piece it is, but there's the other mat. It's kind of a tighter weave, kind of looks like, not really a carbon fiber, but it's kind of an X pattern, not this really stranded stuff. But this stuff's a lot stronger, you know, and like I said, you just kind of guess a little piece and then just kind of stick it down in there. You know, I might end up doing it like that, and then crisscross it maybe once right there on the bottom and call it good. And you know, it's not super important, but I'm not going super crazy on this bumper, but you know, to get it to stop cracking, that'll definitely be good enough. So another thing I like to do is I like to get some of this aluminum tape, some cold weather stuff, and this is just kind of if you have it laying around, or you could use masking tape or duct tape or any of that stuff, but I really like the way this stuff releases the fiberglass crap on the back. So, and I just like to do this just so it kind of holds its shape a little bit better, and then if any of the stuff leaks through on the front, then it'll catch in that. But yeah, this stuff sticks really well to the bumper. So, and then I'll mix up some resin. I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry for the mess on my bench. But yeah, I just get an old, you know, kind of paint mix thing. Doesn't have to be one of those. Just something that, you know, this stuff won't eat. You could use like an old beer can, or the bottom of a beer can, or, you know, rip something off. Just something that won't, you know, melt, styrofoam or something like that. But I usually just kind of guess, kind of pour some in. I'm not really doing a whole lot on this, so that's almost 2 ounces. And then on the instructions right here for this stuff, I actually think on the back over here it says, like, let's see, what does it say? 10 drops of hardener per ounce of resin. So usually you use, you know, 10 drops or so. I usually use a little bit more, especially now that, you know, I'm just doing this real quick. And then make sure you get like a, you know, little paintbrush, just a cheap one, because you're gonna ruin it. And then just mix it. But yeah, so I did 20 drops, you know, 25 drops or so, because this is mixed, you know, only about 2 ounces of it. So yeah, usually I over harden it. Every time I use the 10 ounce or 10 drops per ounce thing, it usually always seemed to under harden, and it would take forever. So I usually use a little bit more to actually get it to set up pretty quick. So, you know, a lot of people, you could use, say you use one of these per container. I usually use 2 of them per container. Like I said, I usually just use a lot more. Yeah, mix that stuff up real good. Grab your brush. So yeah, you know, you dip your brush in there, kind of get a decent little coat down in all the cracks and stuff. Pretty much everywhere there's going to be the fiberglass mat on. I recommend using a respirator. I don't have one on right now just because I'm talking, but so then I'm going to go ahead and set this big guy on there. Make sure to use gloves as well. So yeah, set that guy in there. Take your resin and just kind of tap it in. Just soak all that mat. Get it sticking down real nice. So yeah, that looks real good. Like I said earlier, I like to use a couple little extras here and there. So I'll go up into here, put a little like that. Sure, I probably did a little bit longer one, but stick another one right down there. Like that. The resin's already kind of starting to get a little bit hard. Yeah, look how nice. You want to try to get it all tamped down so there's no air bubbles and stuff underneath it. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm gonna throw another one on there just for shits and giggles, a little crisscross. So I have a little bit of resin left. This stuff actually goes quite a long way, it seems like. Like I said, your brush and everything will be dipped after it's all said and done. Usually I'll wait about 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, wait till it kind of tacks up and pull off the tape. So yeah, this will probably be one of the strongest parts of the bumper now. Bam. So yeah, it's been probably 20 minutes or so. I went ahead and peeled off the tape, and you could see kind of how it's released on the front. And now that it's not floppy, I could throw this thing around. On the back, it's all nice and firm again. So yeah, it feels real strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here. Sand this. A lot of the stuff on the front's a little bit smoother, and then gonna put a little bit of body filler on that. And the rest of the bumper definitely needs a lot of attention as well. So filling some other things on it, but should have this thing looking pretty good. No messing. I got some more 36 grit sandpaper. Kind of sanding this, kind of smooth that out a little bit, so I'm not filling too much and trying to blend too much over here. But I'm also scuffing this up so that the body filler will have something to stick to. I got me some body filler mixed up here. Gonna smear that in the cracks and stuff, cracks and crevices. And you can see it wasn't perfect when I did it, so I'm gonna do it a little bit taller. And then when I sand it, I'm just gonna kind of feather it out, so that you'll never even be able to tell that it was kind of off a little bit. Yeah, so you don't have to be perfect, when you're doing this, because I'm going to use a 36 grit to go ahead and shape it, which is really aggressive and knocks it down pretty quick, so you won't be sanding on it forever and then do another coat. Let's see, I'm trying to kind of build it up out here as well, because this is where I'm going to feather it into. And yeah, like I said, not perfect. Yeah, it already looks even better like that. But yeah, the bumper has a bunch of other little crevices and stuff I gotta fill. So I got basically I skim coated the whole friggin' bumper. You can see all these rock chips and all this crazy crap, but right here's the primary damage that we were looking at, or that I was at least showing you guys. But so now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some high build primer and squirt a pretty good coat on there. It's a 2-part high build primer, and so we'll be able to shrink up into the scratches and stuff like that, and it won't get any smaller, which is nice about the 2-part. But yeah, overall that looks pretty good. I spent too much time on the rest of the bumper, pretty much blocking the whole thing. Just a real light coat of the filler over it, and then just kind of blocked the whole thing with some 80 grit. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the high build primer. So I got it all high build primered. Looks decent, I guess. There's still plenty of the little imperfections and stuff you can see. It probably looks perfect in the video, but in real life you could kind of see a few of the little cracks and stuff like that. A few little chips I missed, just kind of the color of the bumper being black and the filler, and should have made like the perfect camouflage for all this stuff. So I'm definitely going to need to go back in, so you can see little things like that. There's a pinhole right there, a few little guys right here and there, a few more pinholes and stuff. So definitely need a little bit more attention. But now that the primer's on there, you could actually see what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off. Probably another day, or and continue. So yeah, here's the finished product of the RX-8 bumper. You can see down there the lines and everything look pretty good. It's not perfect, but a hell of a lot better than what it was. You can tell the paint doesn't match perfect. The silver is probably one of the harder colors to get it to blend and match and stuff, and I didn't blend it, and the rest of the the front end of the car and pieces and bits of it have already been painted. So but yeah, so it looks pretty good. But yeah, that's how you kind of fix a fiberglass thing. And if you guys are interested in some other stuff on how to paint a car, I had the painting the Haggard 240, and then how to paint a Honda Civic like start to finish. That's a really good video. I did that about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And but this shows kind of a lot of my techniques and stuff. I've changed a few since then, but that's the basic stuff if you guys actually want to learn to paint something. So